Hello there and welcome to News in English with Tutor Tom for Tuesday the 26th of September 2023. So yesterday we reviewed an article looking at the cost of living crisis and how the rising costs of everyday goods is changing the spending habits of everyday consumers. Now, I found another article today which actually relates to that and shows that actually the cost of living crisis isn't just impacting consumers' spending habits, it's actually impacting their health as well. So I got a really interesting article which relates to what we discussed yesterday. So the title of this article today is Sick Days at Work Hit Highest Level for 10 Years. UK workers are taking more sick days than at any point in the last decade, research suggests. Staff took, on average, 7.8 sick days in the past year, up from 5.8 before the pandemic, the Chartered Institute for Personnel and Development found. The trade group said the rise was a worry and blamed stress, COVID, and the cost of living crisis. These conditions were having profound impacts on many people's well-being, it added. The research analysed rates of absence in more than 900 organisations, representing 6.5 million employees. It was conducted by Simply Health, a healthcare company that provides outpatient support. The study found that minor illnesses were the main reason for short-term absences, followed by musculoskeletal injuries and mental ill health. Meanwhile, more than a third of organisations also reported COVID-19 was still a significant cause of sick days. Staff on long-term sick leave tended to blame mental health issues, musculoskeletal injuries, or conditions such as cancer and stroke. Changes in working culture since the pandemic, coupled with the cost of living crisis, have left some employees feeling disengaged and stressed, the CIPD said. Working from home could also present an issue for staff that lived alone or had limited social contact. Most of the organisations surveyed offered sick pay, while around half had a strategy to improve staff well-being. However, the CIPD said rates of absence were still rising and employers needed to do more. This means managing the main risks to people's health from work to prevent stress as well as early intervention to prevent health issues from escalating where possible, said Rachel Suff, Senior Employee Wellbeing Advisor at the CIPD. It's important that organisations create an open, supportive culture where employees feel that they can come forward. Okay, so really interesting article there showing that people are becoming more stressed. The pressures of the cost of living crisis are impacting their health and their well-being. Now, I'm keen to know what it's like for you in your country. Yesterday, I was asking whether you have noticed a big rise in the cost of everyday items. Now, if that is the case for you, is that making you feel more stressed? How do you feel? How are you coping? And have you taken more days off work than you normally would? I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's a great way for you to practice expressing your views and your opinions in English. It's a great way to practice your written English, and it's a great way to engage. So please write your comments below the video, and I'll reply to as many as possible. Now, whilst this article is very short, it's got some brilliant words. So we're going to go through quite a few just now because they're brilliant words to add to your vocabulary. Okay, so the first one is profound. Profound, meaning very great or intense. For example, profound feelings of disquiet. Profound. The next word is well-being. Well-being. The state of being comfortable, healthy, or happy. For example, an improvement in the patient's well-being. That's the word well-being. Absence. Absence. The state of being away from a place or person. For example, the letter had arrived during his absence. That's the word absence. Coupled. Coupled. That means linked or connected in a pair or pairs. Coupled images, for example. That's the word coupled. Disengaged. Disengaged means emotionally detached. For example, the students were oddly disengaged, as if they didn't believe they could control their lives. That's the word disengaged. Stressed. Stressed. Experiencing mental or emotional strain or tension. Stressed workers reported smoking more. That's the word stressed. And then the final word is escalating. Escalating. It means increasing rapidly. For example, the escalating cost of healthcare. Or it could also mean becoming more intense or serious. For example, the authorities grew anxious about the escalating situation. So some absolutely wonderful words there. Go away and start to include them in your next conversations because it will really take your level of English to a higher level. Anyway, that wraps us up for today's video. I'll catch you tomorrow.